Soon this empire will finally be free from your stubborn rule. It is my turn!
The more you feed me, the stronger I become. But water makes me disappear. What am I? Fire!
Until they obey me, this city will never see the sun again! To change the hearts of an entire kingdom requires ancient magic, and it demands royal blood! For 10,000 years, only silence remained.
Touch it with your palm.
Release me!
Even immortality becomes unbearable when no one remembers your name.
This must be the place. There's no turning back now. Take the lamp and touch it with your hand.
The bond has been awakened.
What are you?
I am an ancient genie, bound to this lamp. For thousands of years, I remained imprisoned inside this lamp. Even immortality becomes lonely. To grant 3 wishes, because every choice shapes destiny.
3 wishes. Riches can wait. Power can wait. If I can't leave this cave alive, none of it matters. My first wish, get me out of this place.
A wise beginning. Hold on! Your journey is only beginning.
Soon, this kingdom will belong to me. His strength is fading with every passing hour. No remedy has stopped this mysterious illness. The throne is already slipping from his hands. Soon, no one will stand in my way. By sunrise, the kingdom will answer to me.
Father, you've been betrayed.
The sun has disappeared. Something evil has fallen over the kingdom. Let the darkness teach them fear. Welcome, honored rulers of every neighboring kingdom. Today, a new chapter begins for this empire. Tell them who their new ruler is.
Never! This man betrayed my father and seeks to steal our kingdom.
He's no rightful ruler! He carries no royal blood. The kingdom belongs to the royal family! If they reject my rule,
Then darkness will become their punishment! You may command fear, but never loyalty.
this storm will never end! The kingdom is dying before our eyes.
How much longer can we survive like this? Hope is disappearing with the light.
This isn't just a storm. Someone is doing this to the kingdom.
You'll never reach the palace dressed like that.
Then I'll become someone they never notice. May fate guide you. People no longer smile the way they once did. The palace has changed, and so has the kingdom. Something terrible has happened here.
You are not from this city, are you?
No, I arrived only today.
Then you should know the truth before you go any farther. The royal family lives behind those walls. The princess carries the hopes of everyone in this kingdom.
Then she must not face this alone. Every journey begins with a single choice. Tomorrow, I'll seek the truth. So this is the royal palace. Everything begins here.
I don't believe we've met before.
No, but I'm honored to meet you.
Our kingdom has a long and remarkable history.
It's even more beautiful than I imagined.
I hope you'll enjoy your time here.
Thank you, I'm honored to be here.
Interesting. Our young traveler has arrived sooner than expected.
These books preserve the wisdom of many generations.
Every page tells a remarkable story.
Knowledge is one of our kingdom's greatest treasures.
Your kingdom is truly magnificent.
Its people are the heart of its beauty. Evening is my favorite time here.
The palace feels peaceful beneath the lantern light. You have changed everything. Perhaps our greatest adventure is only beginning. I was hoping to see you again.
The lamp always answers a sincere call. Every choice opens a different path.
Wisdom is often greater than power. Then I will choose with care. The city looks beautiful in the morning. Today feels like a fresh beginning.
It's a beautiful morning.
It truly is.
I'm glad you came to our city.
Thank you for your kindness.
Before you continue, 3 paths stand before you.
Then I will choose with care. The first answer is found through wisdom. Then I will listen before I choose.
Imagine for a second just being trapped in an elevator.
Okay, kind of a stressful way to start, but all right, I'm with you.
Right, well, I want you to really picture it. You step in, the doors slide shut, and you hear this like heavy mechanical clunk.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then the power just completely cuts out. So you're standing there in this pitch black box. It's what, maybe 6 by 6 feet?
Barely enough room to pace around.
Exactly. Now, for the first few hours, you do what literally anyone would do. You panic. I mean, you bang your fists against the steel doors. You yell for help until your throat is completely raw.
Yeah, the basic survival instinct kicks in.
Right. But by day 2, the sheer crushing weight of that silence starts to press in on you. The sensory deprivation begins to play all these weird tricks on your mind.
Because your brain is starving for input.
Exactly. It starts hallucinating. Now, I want you to stretch that timeline out. Imagine you don't die of thirst. You don't age. You just exist fully conscious in that dark, silent box for 10,000 years.
That is just, that's incomprehensible.
It is. What happens to a mind in that environment? Like, what would you be willing to do, or what cosmic laws would you break just to hear another voice?
Anything. You would do literally anything.
Exactly. And today, we're looking at a text that takes this classic childhood trope of a magical being in a lamp, and it turns it into this terrifying psychological study on the cost of immortality.
It's a massive tonal shift from what most people know.
Oh, completely. We are tearing apart a transcript from a YouTube video titled Aladdin, The Cave of Wishes, Season 1, full fantasy film. And let me be clear right out of the gate for everyone listening, this is not a story about a fun, colorful adventure.
No, absolutely not. There are no musical numbers here.
Right. This iteration strips all of that away. It leaves us with this raw deconstruction of isolation, some incredibly complex political maneuvering, and an ancient magic system that demands a truly horrific toll.
Yeah, it really demands that we look at these ancient narrative structures through a much darker, much more realistic lens. We are exploring a landscape where magic is not this joyful, consequence-free shortcut. It's a volatile force, and it's bound by strict, unforgiving conditions.
It has weight.
Right. It's a text that forces us to stare directly at the darkest impulses of human nature when people are confronted with absolute power.
And that is exactly our mission for this deep dive. We're going to deconstruct this fast-paced narrative and extract those core themes.
Which there are a lot of.
So many. We're going to examine the crushing weight of isolation in this magic system. We'll break down the mechanics of power versus the illusion of authority. And most importantly, we're going to look at the immense weight of human choice. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
We have to start where the narrative drops us in, which is the initial encounter between the boy and the lamp down in the cave.
Right, the inciting incident.
Yeah, and the boy has presumably navigated all this immense danger just to get to this chamber. But what caught my attention immediately was this highly specific, almost ritualistic mechanic of how the magic actually gets triggered.
Because it's not accidental.
Exactly. He doesn't just stumble, knock a lamp over, and watch a genie pop out in a puff of smoke. There's this disembodied voice in the dark that instructs him. It says, take the lamp and touch it with your palm. Take the lamp, touch its surface.
Skin to metal.
Yes. It requires this intentional physical contact.
What's fascinating here is the deliberate physicality of that requirement.
Right.
because it establishes the epistemological rules of this universe right away. Magic in this world is not ethereal.
It's grounded.
Right. It isn't something that happens at a distance through spoken incantations alone. It requires a tangible, tactile connection.
Like completing a circuit.
Exactly like that. The human master must bridge the gap between the mundane mortal world and the ancient magical realm through direct contact. It implies a binding contract that, well, it just cannot be entered into accidentally. The boy has to actively choose to engage with this entity.
And when he makes that contact, the entity that emerges completely subverts his expectations. I mean, the boy is clearly terrified.
Understandably so.
Yeah, he asks, "What are you?" And the genie's response is incredibly loaded. He says, "I am an ancient genie, a creature bound to the lamp."
Bound.
Right. He defines his entire existence by his captivity. He doesn't lead with his power, he leads with his shackles.
The language of imprisonment is front and center. He is a creature bound. And that framing completely recontextualizes the dynamic between the boy and the genie.
It fundamentally changes it because the boy, trying to process all this, asks why the genie even wanted to be released.
And this is where it gets heartbreaking.
It is devastating. The genie admits he was trapped inside the lamp for thousands of years, and he says sometimes even immortality can become lonely.
Which goes right back to your elevator analogy.
Yes, the sensory deprivation alone would shatter a normal human psyche into a million pieces.
Just completely dissolve it.
So looking at this interaction, I had to completely rethink the traditional archetype of the genie. Like, is this being a godlike figure dispensing miracles from on high as some benevolent force? Or is he the ultimate prisoner?
The universe's most tragic inmate.
Exactly. Like, is he granting these wishes not out of a sense of cosmic duty, but out of a desperate, pathetic desire for just a brief moment of connection with another sentient being?
You are hitting on the central tragedy of this entire magic system. The tension is just palpable there.
It really is.
On one hand, you have the transactional, rigid nature of the genie-master relationship, right? The genie explicitly states the terms, which is 3 wishes, exactly 3. It is a highly legalistic, cosmic framework.
Very strict.
But layered right on top of that rigid framework is a profound emotional vulnerability. This being isn't just some mindless conduit for reality-bending power. He's a sentient, suffering consciousness.
He feels the weight of the time.
Right. And this sets a deeply melancholic tone for the narrative. In this world, the power to change reality is inextricably linked to the deepest, most crushing solitary confinement imaginable. Magic is forged in trauma.
Oh, that is such a good way to put it. And I think that makes the boy's first wish so much heavier.
It definitely raises the stakes.
Yeah, because the genie lays out the ground rules, confirming the boy can wish for anything. But he adds this very pointed warning. He says, "You're a smart boy. Choose wisely."
No pressure.
Right. Now, if you're listening to this, put yourself in this kid's position. You are standing in a subterranean cave, and an ancient being has just handed you 3 blank checks to reality.
It's an impossible situation.
The temptation to immediately swing for the fences, to ask for infinite wealth, a kingdom, unparalleled power, I mean, that would be overwhelming for almost anyone. We are conditioned to want everything immediately.
It is the ultimate psychological test of impulse control.
Exact.
Most individuals, suddenly granted proximity to absolute power, would immediately default to grandiose, ego-driven desires.
But the boy doesn't. He looks around, assesses his immediate environment, and his pragmatism just takes over completely.
He stays so grounded.
He really does. He says, "I've come too far to reach this place, and I don't think I can survive going back the same way I came." Like, he does the math.
Survival first.
Right. All the wealth and power in the universe are completely useless if he dies of dehydration or falls into a chasm on the walkout. So his first wish is incredibly simple. He just says, "Get me out of this place."
It's a brilliant tactical move, and it functions as a diagnostic of his socioeconomic background, really.
Oh, how so?
Well, this isn't an aristocrat who has the luxury of dreaming about empires because his basic needs are already met.
Right. He's not sitting comfortably in a palace.
No, this is an individual who understands the visceral, immediate reality of day-to-day survival. He understands that tomorrow is a privilege, it's not a guarantee.
Wow, yeah.
He doesn't ask for a parade or to be teleported to a throne room. He just asks for extraction from an immediate lethal threat. It speaks to a life lived entirely on the edge. You solve the threat standing in front of you before you even dare to entertain the concept of luxury.
And the magic responds instantly. The genie just says, "As you wish, master, hold tight." Boom.
Reality bends to the will of a mortal's survival instinct.
Just like that. But the moment the boy is extracted from the cave, the narrative violently shifts gears. We were pulled out of this intimate, claustrophobic environment of ancient magic and thrust directly into the sprawling, toxic political environment of the Palace Above Ground.
The physical setting changes drastically, yes.
Yeah,
But the overarching theme of captivity remains the connective tissue here.
right. Just a different kind.
Exactly. Only now we are analyzing political captivity rather than magical confinement.
Okay, let's look at the mechanics of this political captivity, because the text establishes that the kingdom is in a severe crisis. The Sultan is mysteriously dying.
Very mysterious.
Right. The dialogue we get from the palace whispers is full of paranoia. People are saying things like, the Sultan ate the dates and no one knows what happened. It's an atmosphere of impending collapse.
Chaos.
Total chaos. And moving through the center of it all is the Sultan's trusted advisor, a figure known as the sorcerer. It becomes clear very quickly that this isn't some random illness. The sorcerer is methodically eliminating the Sultan to clear the path for a takeover.
We are witnessing a textbook slow motion coup d'etat.
It's chilling how clinical it is.
Very. The advisor is isolating the current head of state, controlling the flow of information to the public, and carefully positioning himself as the only viable successor.
Yeah, he's manipulating the entire board.
He even has this moment where he remarks that soon the empire will, quote, finally be free from your stubborn rule.
Wow, the self-delusion.
Exactly. He has entirely justified his treason internally. He's framing it as a necessary political correction for the good of the state.
But this is where the sorcerer's strategy gets genuinely baffling to me, and this is where I really want to dig into the text.
All right, what's bothering you about it?
Well, he doesn't just want to quietly poison the Sultan, dispose of the body, and take the throne in the middle of the night, which would be the easy way. He orchestrates this massive global spectacle.
A gathering.
Right. He sends word to every neighboring sultanate and ruler. He demands a grand gathering at the palace gates. His plan hinges entirely on the princess, the legitimate heir, standing up in front of the entire known world and officially verbally transferring the kingdom over to him.
It's a huge gamble.
A massive gamble. He threatens her father's remaining life to force her compliance, but she completely flips the script on him.
She's the play one.
Not at all. She stands before the noble guests, the figurative microphone is on, and instead of endorsing him, she declares, "My father is betrayed by this man. He wants to take our kingdom for himself. He will never be your true sultan."
Which is just a brilliant political maneuver.
It is, and the crowd instantly revolts. They start shouting that they do not know this man and that he carries no royal blood. It is a catastrophic public humiliation for the sorcerer.
Total backfire.
But here's what I don't understand. The text establishes that this sorcerer has access to dark, overwhelming magic. He literally tells his guards he wants to wield all the forces that exist in the world.
He has raw power.
Right. So if you are an all-powerful sorcerer, why on earth do you care about a public ceremony?
It seems counterintuitive.
Totally. Why do you need the validation of visiting nobles or the peasantry at the gates? Why not just blast the doors off the throne room, sit down, and declare yourself the ruler through sheer magical force?
That is the central political paradox of the narrative. And to untangle it, we have to establish a strict boundary between two concepts that are frequently confused, which are power and authority.
Right, because colloquially, we use those words interchangeably all the time.
We do, but politically and philosophically, they're distinct mechanisms. Power is the physical, martial, or in this case, magical capacity to force someone to comply.
The brute force approach.
Exactly. If I have a sword to your throat, or if I can summon a localized earthquake, I have power. I can compel your obedience through the threat of immediate destruction.
Right.
The sorcerer possesses power, and he is actively seeking more of it.
Okay, so that's power.
Yeah.
What about authority?
Authority is an entirely different construct. Authority is legitimacy. It is the belief held collectively by the public and the institutions of the state that you possess the moral and legal right to wield that power.
Ah, okay.
Authority is manufactured consent. It is the invisible social contract between the ruler and the ruled.
I see. So let me make sure I've got this. You can possess a weapon which grants you the power to force my compliance, but unless you are wearing a badge that I recognize as legitimate, you do not have the authority to actually detain me.
Precisely. And within the socio-political framework of this specific text, as in many historical monarchies, authority is explicitly derived from lineage.
The bloodline.
Yes, the crowd screams it, right? He carries no royal blood. The sorcerer is hyper-aware of this dynamic. He knows he can seize the physical chair of the throne using his dark forces.
He could take the room easily.
He could. But he also knows that if he does that, he will spend every waking moment of his rule fighting endless rebellions.
Because nobody respects his right to be there.
Exactly. He cannot govern a stable, productive empire if every citizen, and more importantly, every neighboring sultanate with their own standing armies, views him as an illegitimate usurper.
That makes so much sense.
He requires the optics of a peaceful, legitimate transition. He needs the princess, who is the living vessel of royal authority, to publicly launder his stolen power into legitimate authority.
Wow. So he basically needs a massive PR stunt to hack the political system.
Exactly. It's a maneuver we see constantly in real-world history during military coup.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. A junta will roll tanks into the capital, seize the broadcasting stations, which is the exercise of raw power, right?
Yeah.
But their very next move is to put the deposed civilian leader on national television to state that they are stepping down willingly for the sake of national stability.
To create that illusion of legitimacy.
Right. The illusion of legality is critical for long-term survival. But the princess refuses to be a prop in his theater. By speaking the truth, she shatters the illusion entirely. She strips him of any potential for authority on a global stage.
She points at the emperor and tells the world he has no clothes, and the crowd completely agrees with her.
Yes, and that is a fatal blow to his ego.
And the sorcerer's reaction to this rejection is chilling, because he realizes he cannot win their authority. He just abandons the political game entirely and defaults to raw, punitive power.
He lashes out.
He does. He casts a spell that plunges the entire city into an endless storm. The skies go dark, the bazaars are forced to close, the economy just grinds to a halt. And his justification is pure authoritarianism. He says, the darkness will cover your skies until you learn to.
It is the ultimate authoritarian reflex. When a regime cannot secure the hearts and minds of its populace, when its legitimacy is irrevocably fractured, it resorts to collective punishment.
Punish everyone until they break.
Yes, the endless storm functions as a literal and metaphorical suffocating force. He is depriving the citizens of light, of commerce, of baseline normalcy.
Taking away their basic needs.
Exactly. The strategy is to inflict such profound, inescapable misery that the populace will eventually break. He is essentially saying, if you deny me your genuine consent, I will make your daily existence so excruciating that you will voluntarily surrender just to make the suffering stop.
It is such a dark, brutal strategy. And while the city is suffocating under this totalitarian storm, the boy who escaped the cave earlier is making his way back into the narrative.
He's stepping into the chaos.
Right. He realizes the princess is in danger and he needs to infiltrate the palace grounds. But he doesn't just run up to the gates. He goes to a friend and explicitly asks for a disguise, a new outfit, to slip through the chaos of the gathering.
The tactical approach.
Yeah, and it's a small detail, but I think it mirrors the sorcerer's actions. Both of them are attempting to use the illusion of who they are to navigate the palace dynamics.
That's a great parallel.
Anyway, the boy manages to find out the princess isn't in the palace at all. She's been taken back underground to a cave as a hostage. So he returns to the darkness. And this is where the narrative shifts from a political thriller into this deeply philosophical labyrinth.
The cave is a very different kind of test.
It really is. As the boy enters the cave, this disembodied voice echoes through the chamber, presenting him with three distinct paths. The voice says, the first path will lead you on a long journey, a journey filled with adventures beyond anything you have ever imagined. The second path, the one on your right, will lead you to unimaginable wealth. It will change your life forever. And finally, the third path, the one on your left, will lead you to the very reason you came here.
Classic mythological structure.
Right. My immediate reaction to this was structural. It feels like a rigid, almost video game-esque mechanic, like a moral skill tree or something.
It relies heavily on archetypal folklore structures. The rule of three is foundational here. We have 3 wishes, 3 riddles, 3 paths. It is a recurring motif designed to force a protagonist into a crucible of decision-making.
But let's analyze the moral weight of these specific choices, because I think the standard interpretation of this scene is a bit naive.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How so?
Well, let's look at the boy's background again. He is a street-level survivor. He intimately understands poverty and the daily grind to stay alive, right?
Definitely.
So when the voice offers path number 2, the unimaginable wealth, that is not just an offer of luxury. That is an offer of permanent generational security. It means never having to fight for a meal again.
It's life-changing.
It is. Yet the boy almost immediately rejects it. He says, this is the path I will choose no matter what awaits me. And he takes the third path, the reason he came, which is to save the princess.
The selfless choice.
Well, see, the traditional reading is that this is the ultimate selfless hero moment. but I want to push back on that heavily.
I welcome the pushback. What is the counter argument?
Okay, I hear what the narrative is trying to tell me about his pure intent, but let's be real for a second and apply a strict utilitarian framework to this choice.
All right, let's do the math.
Choosing the third path means choosing to save one specific person, the princess. It satisfies his personal hero complex. But what if he chose the unimaginable?
You're thinking bigger picture.
Exactly. Think about the geopolitical reality of the city above him. The city is being crushed by a tyrant in an endless storm. The people are starving because the bazaars are closed. If the boy takes the wealth, he could theoretically fund a massive mercenary army to overthrow the sorcerer.
He could fund a revolution.
Yes. He could feed the entire city for a decade. By choosing to play the White Knight for one girl, isn't he prioritizing his own personal sense of duty over a systemic solution that could save thousands of lives?
Yeah.
I struggle to see how picking the quote-unquote pure path isn't inherently selfish, or at least dangerously short-sighted.
It is a fascinating, highly cynical utilitarian calculus you're applying.
I know, I'm being a bit harsh, but still.
And in a modern geopolitical context, you would have a very strong argument. Infinite resources do, practically speaking, solve more systemic issues than the rescue of a single political hostage. However, you are attempting to apply modern socioeconomic logic to an ancient magical crucible. And that is where the argument breaks down within the logic of the text.
But shouldn't the logic hold? If the goal is saving the kingdom, intent is great, but resources actually win wars.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you are assuming the wealth offered by the cave is a neutral tool that can be wielded for righteous ends.
Well, money is money, isn't it?
Not in this cave. The magic in this universe is not neutral. It is highly conditional and deeply psychological. The cave is not a bank offering a grant for a rebellion.
Right, it's a test.
It is a sentient testing ground. The paths represent the greatest temptations of the human ego. Path 1, the unimaginable adventure, is the temptation of glory, legacy, and centering yourself as the protagonist of reality.
The ego trap.
Exactly. And path 2, the unimaginable wealth, is the temptation of ultimate material power over your environment, which, crucially, is exactly the trap the sorcerer has fallen into.
Oh wait, so you're saying the wealth itself would corrupt the intent?
I am saying the choice is a diagnostic of the soul. If the boy chose the wealth, even with the internal justification of using it for good, he would be validating the premise that power and capital are the ultimate solutions to human suffering.
He'd be playing the sorcerer's game.
He would be adopting the exact same philosophical framework as the sorcerer. The third path, crucially, offers zero material reward. It only promises consequence, quote, the reason you came.
It's all risk, no reward.
Exactly. By choosing it, the boy actively strips away his ego. He rejects the temptation to conquer the world through wealth or glory, proving that his actions are driven by genuine obligation and love rather than a desire for leverage. The cave demands purity of intent, not a strategic business plan.
Okay, that is a profound distinction. It's not about the mathematical utility of the reward. It is a test to see if his core operating system can be bought.
Exactly.
And by refusing the wealth, he proves he is defined by what he refuses to take, which is the exact inverse of the sorcerer, whose entire existence is defined by his insatiable, violent consumption of everything around him.
Perfectly stated. The boy passes the moral test, which earns him the right to face the intellectual.
Which brings us to the guardian. The boy walks further down the third path and awakens this giant that has been sleeping beneath the sands.
Another ancient entity.
Yeah, and the giant is enraged. He says, "For 10,000 years I slept beneath these sands. How dare you awaken me?" Again, the author is aggressively confronting us with the sheer, terrifying scale of time in this universe. A 10,000-year slumber makes the political coup happening on the surface feel completely microscopic.
It induces a deliberate sense of cosmic insignificance. It reminds the audience and the boy that human empires rise and fall in the blink of an eye compared to the geological timelines of these ancient entities.
It really puts the sorcerer's ambitions in perspective.
Very much so.
And the giant establishes the rules of engagement. He doesn't challenge the boy to a physical fight, which, the boy would obviously lose.
It would be a very short story.
Right. He says, "If you wish to pass, you must first earn that right. If you answer my riddle correctly, I shall allow you to pass. But if you fail, you will remain beneath these sands with me forever."
The stakes are absolute.
Absolute stakes. A battle of wits with death as the penalty. Now, the text gives us 3 specific riddles, and I want to look at the thematic tissue connecting them rather than just treating them like a pop quiz.
Let's hear them.
Okay, so the first 2 riddles center entirely on concepts of absence and consumption.
Which are the structural themes of the villain's psychology.
Exactly, you see it right away. The giant asks what grows larger the more you take from it, and the boy correctly answers, a hole. Then the giant asks what grows stronger when fed but dies when given water, and the boy answers, fire.
These aren't just random brain teasers.
No, a hole is the physical manifestation of absence. It is a void. The more you try to interact with it by taking, the bigger the void becomes.
The perfect metaphor.
It's a perfect metaphor for the sorcerer's greed. Like, no matter how much authority he tries to steal, the void in his legitimacy only grows wider.
And the fire.
Fire is pure, unthinking consumption. It destroys its environment to sustain itself, just as the sorcerer is burning down the kingdom's economy with the endless storm just to sustain his ego.
The Guardian is testing whether the boy understands the fundamental, destructive forces currently tearing his world apart. He's ensuring the boy comprehends the nature of his enemy.
Which makes the final riddle so incredibly significant. The giant asks, the more you chase me, the faster I leave. What am I?
It's a great riddle.
It is. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The boy doesn't just blurt out the correct answer. The transcript shows his internal monologue.
We see his thought process.
Yeah, he whispers to himself, I know the answer. The answer is power. Wait, I have another answer. Wealth. And only after discarding those two does he arrive at the correct answer, which is time.
Those misdirections are crucial.
Right. Why did the author include those wrong guesses? The boy literally just rejected wealth at the crossroads. Why is his mind going to power and wealth when faced with a riddle about something that escapes you the more you chase it?
Because the boy is actively diagnosing the fatal flaw of the sorcerer in real time.
Oh, man.
Think about it. The boy is projecting the anxieties and the political reality of the world above down into the crucible of the cave, who is currently tearing the world apart, chasing power and wealth.
The sorcerer.
The sorcerer. And what is the mechanical result of that pursuit? The heart of the sorcerer squeezes the kingdom, the faster the legitimate authority slips through his fingers. The boy's initial guesses aren't failures of intellect. They are a psychological profile of the tyrant.
Oh, that is brilliant. He's realizing that the sorcerer believes power and wealth can be caught, conquered, and hoarded. But the boy recognizes that chasing those concepts is an illusion. They are always receding horizons.
You can never catch them.
Never. And the ultimate answer, time, is the grand equalizer. The more you chase me, the faster I leave. You cannot hoard time. You cannot conquer it with magic. It is the one force that even the immortal Genie and the 10,000-year-old giant are subjected to.
Time is the overarching architecture of the universe. And practically speaking, within the narrative, time is rapidly running out for the dying sultan, for the captive princess, and for the suffocating city above.
The clock is ticking loudly. So the Guardian accepts the answer, acknowledging the boy's wisdom. But before the boy leaves the chamber, the Guardian gives him a deeply strange, highly specific instruction.
The sand.
Yes, he tells the boy, before you leave, take one handful of sand from this chamber for the journey ahead. You will need your intelligence, your senses, and this handful of sand.
It is a striking, deeply tactile image, a handful of earth against the cosmic scale of magic.
It really is, and because the text doesn't explicitly spell out a magical use for this sand later, we have to extrapolate its meaning.
Right, it's open to interpretation.
If we tie it back to the riddle he just solved, sand is the universal visual shorthand for time, the hourglass, the sands of time literally slipping through human fingers.
It functions as a profound grounding mechanism. Consider what the boy has just experienced. He has interacted with an immortal being bound in a lamp, a magical voice offering infinite realities, and a colossal entity that has slept for 10 millennia.
It's too much for a normal brain.
It would be incredibly easy for a mortal mind to fracture under the weight of that cosmic exposure, to just lose their tether to human reality. The sand is a physical anchor. It reminds him of his own mortality, his fragility, and the undeniable reality that his time on Earth is finite.
It's also a powerful narrative statement about the role of humanity in a magically dominated world. The sorcerer is trying to command the heavens, summoning endless storms and bending reality.
He wants to be a god.
Right. And the Guardian equips the hero with what? Dirt? A handful of sand? It suggests that when faced with overwhelming apocalyptic systems of power, the solution isn't to find a bigger spell.
It's not about matching power with power.
Exactly. The solution is something incredibly small, mundane, and easily overlooked. A literal grain of sand thrown into the gears of a magical machine.
It is an endorsement of human resilience. It asserts that human intellect, grounded in the physical reality of the Earth, can disrupt systems of absolute power.
And the boy is going to need every ounce of that grounded intellect because while he is navigating the cave, the situation in the palace reaches a critical, catastrophic boiling point.
Things escalate quickly on the surface.
We are entering the final escalation of the text, and the stakes shift from political to existential. Above ground, the endless storm is achieving its goal, but not in the way the sorcerer intended.
It's working too well.
The misery is absolute. The bazaars are dead. The people are restless. But instead of submitting, the sorcerer's own internal power structure begins to fracture.
This is the inherent vulnerability of authoritarianism. When a regime relies entirely on fear and misery to maintain control, the loyalty of its enforcers is incredibly brittle.
There's no trust.
None. There is no ideological foundation to hold the structure together when the pressure peaks.
We see this fracture explicitly in the text. One of the palace advisors approaches another and whispers, "I can help you free the Sultan, the real Sultan." And his justification for betraying the sorcerer is terrifying.
What does he say?
He says, "The sorcerer has lost his mind. He will not rest until he destroys everything. This kingdom is already lost." The enforcers have realized that the sorcerer is no longer trying to govern a state, he is just consuming it.
He is the fire from the riddle.
Yes, he is actively burning down the very house he claims to want to rule over.
The sorcerer has become entirely consumed by his own cognitive dissonance. He desires the validation of legitimate authority, but his actions only generate hatred and resistance. Unable to reconcile this, he embraces pure nihilism. If the kingdom will not love him, he will reduce it to ash.
Sensing this internal rebellion, sensing that his grip on the physical world is slipping, the sorcerer makes a final, desperate play. He summons his magical servant, the Genie, and declares he is ready to make his final wish.
The third wish.
Now, I want to contrast this with the boy's first wish. The boy wished for extraction, a simple, localized movement through space. The sorcerer's wish is a horrifying escalation.
It's on a completely different scale.
He says, "For my final wish, I want every person in my kingdom and every neighboring kingdom to know me as their true sultan."
It is the ultimate manifestation of his deep-seated insecurity. He is no longer satisfied with physical obedience. He doesn't just want the citizens to bow. He wants to aggressively rewrite their internal epistemology. He wants to force them to know him as true.
He wants to magically brainwash the entire known world.
Exactly.
He is attempting to bypass the hard work of leadership and use magic to forcefully install loyalty into the minds of millions of people. But this is where the narrative delivers its most massive, world-shattering twist.
The magic says no.
The magic pushes back. The Genie, who up until this point has been a subservient conduit of power, draws a hard line. He tells the sorcerer, "A powerful wish comes with a price. Some wishes cannot be granted by magic alone."
This raises an important question regarding the fundamental ethics and structural limitations of the magic system itself. Up to this point, magic appeared to be a boundless, amoral tool.
Exactly. But here we learn that the universe has strict, unyielding rules. The magic can summon a storm that blocks out the sun. It can teleport individuals across the globe. But the human mind, free will,
That is off limits.
that is a locked door. The magic system dictates that you cannot alter the fundamental beliefs of a human soul for free.
It establishes profound philosophical boundary. You can conquer a city with violence and fear, forcing behavioral compliance. But to manufacture genuine belief, to override a human being's free will and grant yourself true authority within their consciousness, requires a violation of the natural order so severe that standard magic cannot execute it.
It needs something darker.
The Genie explains that it requires ancient magic, and that this ancient magic demands a physical, horrific toll of equal weight to the violation being committed.
And the toll demanded by the universe is the blood of a royal woman. It brings the entire narrative full circle, right back to the concept of legitimacy.
A bloodline again.
Right. The sorcerer lacks royal blood, which is why he lacks authority. The universe tells him that the only way to magically graft that authority onto himself is to literally spill the blood of the woman who possesses it. It is a deeply twisted, parasitic transaction.
It really is.
He must murder the physical source of legitimacy to hijack the minds of the populace.
It is the ultimate perversion of the social contract. He is explicitly willing to sacrifice the life of the princess to construct a false reality where millions of mindless puppets worship him.
And for everyone listening right now, I want you to pause and consider how this ancient magical dilemma maps directly onto the structures of modern life. Because stripping away the magic and the blood sacrifice, we see this dynamic constantly.
In almost every hierarchy.
Yes. Think about any hierarchy. A CEO running a company, a coach leading a team, a politician governing a district. You can force compliance through power. You can threaten people's livelihoods. You can use fear. You can mandate that they show up and perform the motions.
You can make them act the part.
But winning their hearts and minds, getting them to genuinely believe in the mission, to respect your vision, to follow you willingly into hardship, that requires empathy, integrity, and time. It requires earning it.
There is no substitute for that.
And whenever a leader attempts to take a shortcut to manufacture that loyalty, whether it's through manipulation, through algorithmic gaslighting, through forcing a false narrative, it is inherently destructive. The shortcut always exacts a toll on the culture and the individuals involved.
Yeah.
The sorcerer is attempting to take the ultimate cosmic shortcut, and the toll is literal destruction.
You cannot magically conjure respect. It is an organic byproduct of legitimate action. The sorcerer's defining tragedy and the source of his monstrous nature is his absolute inability to earn respect, leading him to the violent conclusion that he must steal it through blood.
And the transcript leaves us dangling over the abyss here. When the sorcerer hears the horrific price of this ancient magic, he doesn't hesitate. There is no moral wrestling.
He doesn't even blink.
Not at all. He immediately turns to his guards and commands them to descend into the cave and bring him the princess. The narrative establishes a final, terrifying ticking clock. It says, "You have time until dawn."
It is a masterful convergence of every thematic thread. The boy, armed with nothing but his grounded intellect and a handful of sand, is navigating the darkness with the princess. The corrupted guards are descending upon them. The sorcerer was waiting for the sun to rise to perform a blood sacrifice that will fundamentally rewrite reality.
It is an incredible escalation of tension, and it brings us to the very edge of the source material we are analyzing today. So what does this all mean? Let's zoom out and look at the massive architectural structure we've just unpacked from this single transcript.
We covered a lot of ground.
We did. We started in the claustrophobic depths of the cave, confronting an immortal being whose infinite cosmic power was entirely eclipsed by the crushing trauma of sensory deprivation and loneliness. We established that magic in this world is not a whimsical tool, but a heavy burden governed by strict physical and emotional.
We then transitioned into a sprawling political thriller, analyzing a slow-motion coup that failed not due to a lack of martial force, but a profound lack of legitimate authority. We witnessed how a single truth spoken by the legitimate heir could shatter an empire of illusions, resulting in the totalitarian collective punishment of an endless storm.
From there, we descended back into the psychological labyrinth, watching a street-smart kid reject the ultimate utilitarian temptations of wealth and ego, choosing instead the path of pure intent.
The true test of character.
Right. We saw him outwit a 10,000-year-old entity, not through violence, but by correctly diagnosing the fatal flaw of his enemy, recognizing that the pursuit of power is an illusion and that time is the only undeniable force in the universe.
And finally, we analyzed the terrifying collision between absolute magic and human free will. We observed a tyrant so paralyzed by his own illegitimacy that he is willing to invoke blood-fueled ancient magic to forcefully overwrite the consciousness of millions, proving that true authority cannot be stolen without destroying the very soul of the society you wish to rule.
It is an absolutely stunning deconstruction. It takes the comforting, well-worn tropes of a fairy tale and weaponizes them to explore human psychology, the mechanics of political philosophy, and the terrifying ethical limits of power.
It's a heavy text.
It is. But as we bring this deep dive to a close, I want to leave you, the listener, with one final, deeply provocative question to mull over. Something to explore on your own that builds on the philosophical foundation we've laid down today.
A parting thought experiment to test the boundaries of those themes.
Exactly. We know the sorcerer's ultimate plan. He intends to use the royal blood to rewrite the hearts and minds of the entire kingdom by dawn. So I want you to imagine for a second that the boy fails.
The worst case scenario.
Right. Imagine the guards capture the princess, the sun breaches the horizon, the dark sacrifice is completed, and the ancient magic washes over the globe. Suddenly, every single person wakes up and their neural pathways have been fundamentally altered. The endless storm breaks, the sun shines warmly on the bazaars, and every citizen looks at the sorcerer and feels nothing but profound, genuine, unshakable love and loyalty.
They believe the lie completely.
They believe in the deepest marrow of their bones that he is their true benevolent sultan. The conflict is over, there is absolute peace, and everyone feels happy.
A horrifying, chemically induced kind of peace.
Right. So my question to you is this. If the sorcerer succeeds, are the people actually being saved by this newfound peace? Or has their entire reality been reduced to a meaningless lie?
It's a chilling thought.
If there is absolutely no memory of the coercion, if they genuinely feel secure and joyful under his rule, does it mathematically matter how that loyalty was obtained? If magic or technology perfectly dictates what you believe to be absolutely true, is there any measurable difference between a true sultan and a fake one?
It is the ultimate existential terror of the narrative. It forces us to ask whether the terrifying, messy freedom of the human mind, even when it results in misery and conflict, is inherently more valuable than a perfectly engineered, magically induced utopia.
It really makes you question the foundational nature of your own beliefs and how much of our reality is just a story we've agreed to accept.
It does.
Well, we have certainly reached the bottom of this particular cave today. Thank you so much for giving us your time and joining us on this incredible deep dive. We hope we've provided you with a new, sharper lens through which to view these classic narrative structures. Keep questioning the stories you think you know. Keep looking for the shadows hiding behind the magic. And as always, keep diving deep. Until next.